Are you looking to increase your design skills and productivity? From sketching, surfacing, assemblies, and everything in between, our books have you covered. Purchase a paperback or PDF version in our store today.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Steve Samuel from Design Visionaries. It's my pleasure today to talk about a design that is in process. And as you can see, I have a screen here, and inside the screen there is a spring. And the spring is wound very tightly. It's a big, heavy spring. And when the spring lets go, it expands the screen in a way that enables a certain process to happen, and it's a very exciting project because it's got a lot to it. But I thought I would show you what's going on with this thing and show you the different techniques that I'm using to animate it. So as you can see, this is what it looks like when it's working. There's this blue spring wound tightly, like I said, and as it's let go, it deforms the screen to bring about a certain process. So the animation technique in NX, there's a number of them actually. There's one in the visualization mode, there's one in the assembly sequence mode, and then of course there's the animation designer, and then there's the kinematic analysis tool. So they all have animation, and then there's the stress analysis tool as well. So they all have animation, and the trick is to select the right one. But I thought I would go through this with you and show you the different things that I did to have this work. Now, the actual model, this model was really quite simple. It's an extrude. I started with an extrusion of a circle and the extrude, and then I created a sketch. Let me see if I could make a current feature here to show you that once I did the extrude, I extruded with an offset to give me a tube, and then I made a sketch. The sketch was extruded through. Here's that. And then, of course, it was patterned. And once it was patterned, I patterned the pattern. So here it goes around here. I did it variationally just in case I needed to change one of the members. So there you go, it's going around and around, it takes a while. And then of course I patterned that and I did more sketches, etc., etc. So that's how I did that. Then I created a model of the spring. So as you can see, here's the finished expanded version. But in order to do this, there was some math involved. And so I'm going to show you that now. If I say Control E, I created a variable called frame number. As you can see, frame number is here. And when I set frame number to 0, what it does is let's apply that, is it modifies a spline that drives the shape of not only the spring, but the screen as well. And so, like I said, I started out with a screen that was just, the extruded screen with the slots taken out. And then I morphed it. So let me show you how I did that. I'm just going to hide this for a second. Control B. Okay. So if I go to the layer settings, and I bring back my layers of different components here, what you'll see is a sketch. And, let me just go back quickly to the expressions here. And in the expressions, I have this frame number, but I also have a dimension called S. And S is a dimension that controls a sketch that is built within this whole spring here. So Let me show you the sketch that I made. Okay. Okay, so that's not the sketch that I meant to show you, but this sketch is what I used to make the spring. Okay. This is the sketch right, wait for it, right here. That's the one. Okay. So what I've done here is I've made a sketch that's a single line, and it's also a sketch that has a spline that starts here and goes through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. And these points are spaced out. The first one starts 2 inches from the left, and then they're in half-inch increments, and then it goes half-inch increments, half-inch increments, and then it's 2 inches from the right. And what happens is there's a single line here, and there's a spline. And when I increment that variable s, see here's s, it lifts these 4 points and it forces the spline that goes from here to here into a shape that looks more like this, you see? And what I do is I use that spline to make a surface. Now you can see that there's a surface here, and that surface is going to be used to deform a section of this screen thing that I made. So you saw that I made the screen. Here's the screen. This is the screen that's not finished, but you know, because I've got make current feature here. And then I took a section of that screen. I took 36 degrees of the screen, and then the sketch that I created, I did a revolve 36 degrees, so I have this patch, and then I did another revolve of the sketch that has the spline on it. So that's what I used to do the deformation of this little patch. So let me get out of the sketch and show you what's going on here. So let's see, let's go to make current feature of this revolve right here, make current feature. And now I can show you that when I change frame number, let's say frame number is 60. So when frame number is 60, this dimension, S, is frame number divided by 60, and you'll see what happens. So what I have now is the revolved surface that's just the line, and I've got this surface that's deformed. Okay? So the next thing is to make a helix, make current feature. So there's a helix. Now the helix has to follow the contours of the deformed surface, because the premise is the spring inside of the screen, as it unravels, as it expands, it pushes the screen and it changes the shape, and this is the shape it's going to change it to. So that's a nuance. Now, in the helix command, if I say curve helix, there is a way to force the diameter of the helix to meet this surface, or a section curve. And so what I've done here is I've created a helix that goes on this line right here, and whose diameter is controlled by a law curve. Actually, it's the radius controlled by the law curve. And the law curve I use, of course, is this sketched curve, the spline from the sketch, and I use this line as the baseline. So when you do a law curve, there's a baseline curve, and then there's the contoured part of it. So that's a really powerful tool, which enables this helix to change every time I change the sketch that is in turn changed by S, which is in turn changed by frame number. Now, another thing that I did with this with this helix, is as the spring expands, the pitch changes and the number of turns changes, right? So the spring is limited to a certain area or a certain length, and so if it's going to expand and unravel, then what's preserved is this certain length, because I haven't shown you, but it's held on both ends, but it's allowed to unscrew. So it gets larger, but it still stays small where it's being held, so it ramps up, and then as it pushes against the screen, we get this very, very interesting shape. So that's how I made the helix. Of course, there's a sketch on the end of the helix, and that's just a sketch that's created by Sketch on Path. It's taking a while to come up. I don't know why. There it is. So there's that. And then, of course, I did a sweep, swept, a current feature. And the way I did that was you go to Surface, you go to Swept, and what you need to do is you need to control the orientation of the section, because that stays horizontally oriented to the central axis. So I used the forced direction command and did that, so that's great. Great, and then I had the helix. I had the section of the screen, and so the next thing I did was a global shaping, and I did the global shaping via Surface. Global shaping is an amazing command. I use it a lot, and as you can see, what the global shaping does is it takes my original screen and it imposes the same deformation on it that happens from this flat surface to this curved surface. So I did a little swatch, 36-degree swatch. Then, of course, I patterned it 10 times to go 360 degrees around, then I united it together. So the fact that I used frame number is what enabled me to do a visualization or an animation, and again it starts small and then it goes up to that expansion. So that to me is very exciting because I am a nerd, and I hope this technique gives you great abilities to show, especially folks who are, let's say, they're in management and they're not really getting down into the engineering weeds. Sometimes those folks really need an animation to see what it is that you're trying to design and how it works. So this is a very interesting application. It's a very interesting machine element that we're doing here. We hope we're successful because it's a very new, groundbreaking thing that we're trying to do here in an industry that really needs some innovation, and hopefully we'll use it to put people to work and create prosperity. So thank you very much for watching my video. Please like and subscribe. We're certainly trying our best to create more of this content so people know how to use these tools, how to use them efficiently, how to increase what you're doing. And of course, there's some books that I've written on this subject. If you go to the website, www.designviz.com, and look at books, you'll see there are books that show you these techniques that you can buy. They come in PDF versions, so you can have them right away. And then in all cases, you can reach me at info@designviz.com. You can send me questions. You can send me requests for covering different entities and techniques. And that's a lot of fun for me. And thank you very much.